you might be able to like drum up a real bidding war for Justin Fields if you're going to put him out on the market, or if you do the other thing and let's say he continues the streak and he plays well enough where you just say, hey, we can build around him. If you can trade the number 1 pick in a year where so many teams need to get their hand on a quarterback, you could get a real haul for them. So I think it's just amazing kind of what's happened here where one, you go from week 1 through week like 3, Eberflus is definitely getting fired. He's done. To now, I would be pretty surprised if they fired him at the end of the season. And you're building so much value with the quarterback kind of wasteland where Justin Fields becomes a more valuable entity and the number 1 pick becomes a super valuable entity if you decide to trade that. I'm pretty interested to see what the Bears do because I don't think the Panthers are going to win another game. I think if this trajectory continues for Fields, like since he got back from his injury, he's been playing some damn good football. Even before that, like he had some games, some real flashes. Could you get a first-round pick for him? Like maybe not 2024, but a 2025 first-round pick? I don't know. I don't think that's off the table considering his age. And like Fields is one of those players where if you can just put it together, like because we know you can do this, you know, like at a pretty high level. It's just the inconsistencies from like play to play, down and down. But he's starting to like slowly get rid of that. And also like the Field stuff to me this year, I think it's a kind of reminder that some of these guys just take a little bit longer to figure it out than others, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. And I'm really excited to see where his career develops, whether it's in Chicago or somewhere else, like maybe, I don't know, Atlanta. That'd be kind of cool.
I think all these guys, though, I mean, let's be realistic. I mean, you know, the Geno Smith thing, like everyone's saying, well, the Jets never gave him time. You also can't give a quarterback 12 years to develop or 10 years to develop. It's just, it doesn't work that way. But, you know, you can be more open-minded about players. And, you know, Fields, I think, is the perfect example where you've basically been asking him to be a square peg in a round hole since he got into the NFL. He's finally figuring it out kind of on his own, on the fly, and then you adapted along with him. And now he's given you something that you can call on a steady basis that makes some sense. He's making teams, you know, I remember the Lions game last year, the last Lions game last year, and the first Lions game this year, where both times, you know, last year, they're daring him to throw. It's a situation where he has to set them up for a game-winning field goal. They just put everybody up on the line. They're in cover 0, and they're like, yeah, good luck, dude. And he throws it away. This year, the first game where they barely lost, Fields got them in position. He made the throw. And now he's making those developments. He's taking those steps. And so, yeah, first-round pick. I mean, just looking at the NFL standings right now, if you're the Raiders, would you do it? Probably. If you're the
dude, if the Falcons win the division or the Bucks win the division, I would ship off the 19th pick for Justin Fields. Probably, I think it might be a little bit of a tough decision, but there's going to be a bidding war for his services.
If you're the Commanders, would you do it? I mean, the Commanders might end up sinking into a top 2. I think they still have a chance because it's weird. It gets weird after the Panthers. But yeah, there's a ton of teams. If you're the Vikings, would you like Vikings or the Jets even where you have a guy or you're going to bring back Kirk Cousins because there's no talent at the position, but would you let him develop there a little bit more? I mean, I think he'd want to start, but there's so many options. And half the league needs a guy as good as Justin Fields right now. So I don't know. That's fun, but it also makes me nervous. Like if I'm Ryan Poles, like you can't screw that up. You can't.
Yeah.
You know,
because if you trade away Justin Fields and you draft Caleb Williams and Drake Maye and Justin Fields ends up like just taking the supernova launch in a different team, that's a bad look. But I think people would forgive you because the process is kind of what everyone would do. You know, they're probably going to trade Fields, take Maye or Williams number 1, and I think even that's a pretty good scenario for them.